Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our mini hat / treat box. It's a pretty straightforward project. Now, I have all of my pieces cut out, as should you. Now this is, we don't do this very often, but it's a project that involves, well, round elements, and they can be challenging. But just make sure you follow along, listen to all the little tips that I give you, and you should have no problem with it because we've sort of devised a way to make things easy. Okay, so there's two parts to it. Obviously there's a base and there's a lid. There's 4 circles, okay, and this is very important that we get these, grouped properly. So this is the bottom, obviously it's the bigger part. Find the circle that has the little letter B cut into it, okay? And then on this one, there's just a little dash, okay? Or just a little tiny one little tiny mark. Okay, so those two are gonna go with the bottom. And then on the top, we have one with the letter T, and then we have one that has no markers on it at all. These two are gonna go with the top. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start with the bottom. And I've already folded all of these little tabs, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and wrap it around. So what we're gonna do, you'll notice that on this piece here, the side that has no tabs here, there's also 2 little score marks, okay? We're gonna put glue on the other side of this, and you wanna make sure that you stay within and don't go beyond the score marks down this way. You wanna keep the glue up here, okay? So just keep it up here. And then on the other side here, we're gonna do one thin little line all the way out to the edge, and I'm gonna spread that glue out to the very edge. Okay, so glue on the inside where the tabs are, glue on the outside where the tabs are not. And then we're gonna take this and we're gonna match this up. We're gonna take this piece and we're gonna match it up to the little score marks. Now, in my case, it's a little bit harder to see because of this pattern that I'm using. This pattern's kind of wild actually, but I can see it. Just have to focus and just make sure you get it lined up as accurately as you can and continue to press and hold that down until it's all together. Okay. So this side here with the tabs, if you look at it, it kind of tapers in a little bit where the little markers are. This side that's actually facing out is completely straight on all sides. Okay, if it helps, go ahead and press it down on your table just to make sure that everything's making good contact, okay? So it's nice and round. Now we're gonna flip these tabs in, and we're gonna find this piece here that has the little B as in boy on it, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this thing in and just press it in, and that should essentially make this thing nice and round. It's never gonna be like perfectly round because we're working with paper, but actually, I mean, it looks pretty dang close. Okay, so now all we have to do is we can flip these tabs up. We can just do this in increments here, do it in little steps. And I'm just gonna put one little tiny dot of glue on each of these little tabs. Don't need to do a lot there, just a few, then fold them over, and you can actually press down from the inside. We like to call this a skeleton piece because it helps kind of define the structure. Almost, it's like the bones in your body that support everything else, okay? And that should go pretty quick. And you can flip over a few more tabs. Now, I probably rushed that one a little bit, so take your time and give it a few extra seconds. I'm applying glue to the next set of tabs. You can do as many as you feel comfortable with. I'm doing about 5 or 6 at a time, and then flip them down. Flip the whole thing onto your table and press down from the inside. Just make sure that everything's making good contact. Be patient. Okay. And you can pretty much look and see, you can tell which ones are glued down and which ones are not. So I'm gonna flip over a few more. And again, very small dots of glue. Each one of these is doing a lot of work, and there's no sense in caking it on because you'll be spending eternity waiting for them to dry. So then flip them back down, put that on your surface, and then press down on those tabs. I'm just kind of running my finger along the very perimeter where those tabs are making contact with this piece that we just put down. We'll flip it over. You can see these are nice and flush up to about here. So we can flip down a few more. And if you're feeling confident, you can do more tabs at a time. What I would suggest is don't do more tabs than you can before the glue starts to dry. In my case, since I'm doing little dots, and it's kind of a thick dot, I have a lot of time before things start to dry. So in reality, I think those of you that are a little more experienced working with our 3D files, you could probably do this in 2 steps. You could probably get a lot of those glued down in just 2 steps. Now this one didn't get glued down. Okay, and it looks like I have maybe 4 or 5 left. So I'm just gonna put some glue on these 4, put one in there, and you can absolutely do it from this side now, because you've got all of these kind of supporting it. Okay, but I still recommend just using your surface. And then that way you can avoid you know, warping or bending or creasing this thing inadvertently, which we don't want to do, obviously. Okay, so there we have it. Everything looks good, I think, for the most part. Might have one stray one here that I just didn't get enough time with. So I'm pushing down from the inside, and I'm just kind of squeezing it between my 2 fingers here. Pretend like this one's pushing up. Okay, and there it is. Every single one of these is nice and glued down, and we're just gonna put the bottom on, like so. And it should fit perfectly. So to do that, we'll just take and put a nice, somewhat thick line of glue all the way around. I'll do a little bit in the center, and then I'm gonna take this glue and spread that out to the very, very edge of the box, like so. And then while it's nice and tacky, if you had a little bit that spilled over, just wipe it off. And let's pop that right on, nice and centered. And what I like to do is take and kind of run my finger around the perimeter to feel and make sure that it is in fact sitting nice and flush. And that is perfect. And that's kudos to Diana for the spot-on engineering with this. It looks perfect. Okay, you can push down from the inside to help the middle section kind of make more contact. We have these little holes here on the side, and just to kind of thicken things up a little bit for when we put our little cord through there, I'm gonna throw a few little dots of glue on one of these little donuts, and that's gonna get glued right over this hole. So again, that's gonna kind of strengthen that and also make it look a little cuter. That little hint of pink there. Okay, we'll grab the other one for the other side, and you're gonna have fun picking out the string or the braid that you're gonna be using on your little box. It's kind of like one of those little boxes that you would get at the department store. We still have a few of those around here. The one by us is Von Mauer, and you've got some nice stuff there. I go there when I need some dress shirts or something. Okay, so we've got that in place. Perfect. So, and again, it looks kind of wonky from the top, but once we put the lid on, it'll all kind of hold together. Again, we're taking something flat, turning it into something round with paper, so there's always going to be that element there. Okay, and the lid is going to be the same exact thing pretty much. So as you can see here, this part right here is tapered a little bit. It kind of comes in. So we know we need to hide that. That needs to go on the inside. And you'll notice that right here on this section, we have those 2 little marks. Okay, so we're gonna put glue, and I don't know why I'm getting glue on my fingers here. We're gonna put a little bit of glue here like so, and then I'm gonna put some glue inside and just spread that out to the very edge. That's gonna make sure that it's nice and tight. It's glued, so the glue holds this in place right up to those score marks and doesn't come apart. Nice and accurate. Okay, press and hold. If you have a little bit of glue that squeezes out, just wipe it off. Not a big deal. Just make sure this is nice and straight as well. And just keep holding for just a moment while it sets. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. And just keep holding. Make sure that there's a little bit of resistance there because it wants to come apart. It's, you know, there's tension here. So you want to make sure you keep holding that down until you're 100% certain that it's not going anywhere. And that looks good. So now we can take and bring these down. We'll flip this over, and there's 2 of these circles left. We're going to take the one that has the letter T and slide that inside. And as you can see, by doing that, it helps kind of make it more round. And we're going to repeat the same process we did with the base. And as I mentioned before, if you're feeling confident, you can certainly put some glue on more than just a few and try to get this done in maybe 2 or 3 steps. So I have it on probably 12, maybe 13. I'll flip that in, press that down, and then I'll push down from the inside. This one's a little bit easier to work with because you don't have to get your fingers in as far. Okay, so this one will certainly go a lot faster. I would continue to do that a few times until everything is nice and flush. Okay, so here we go. Moving on, and like I mentioned, I think we can do this in 3 segments. Just little dots. I'm not even really pressing down on the glue nozzle or the glue bottle. And if you want to speed things up, you can thin out the glue a little bit. Fold it back over, put it on your surface, and continue just to run your finger right up against that edge on the inside. Go as far as you can. Don't push too hard. You don't want to rip anything, obviously. And there you go. And you can literally see the ones that have not been glued. I've got, maybe about 10 of them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10. Okay, fold those over, down on the surface, and just kind of make a little U. Okay, there we go. And to finish that off, just like we did, let's actually put this on the base. You can see how nicely that fits, and that looks nice and round. And I'm going to keep it on there just because it's kind of helping keep its shape better. And we'll do a nice semi-thick line of glue around the perimeter. A little bit on the inside. We'll take that glue, spread it out to the very edges. Okay, and then take the lid. This one has nothing on it, no marks whatsoever. Get it nice and centered on there. And then use your finger along the very edges here, kind of feel and make sure that everything is nice and lined up. If you have a little bit of glue that's squeezing out, that's okay, just rub it off real quick. Not a big deal. But continue to press down along the very edge. That seam is the most important thing here. Okay. There we go. Hey, bud. Pumpkin's outside. He's coming to visit now. Come here, buddy. All right. Okay, so that looks great. And perfect. Can't complain. Very, very happy with that. Okay, so finally we have a little flower. And with this, I'm going to take a dowel. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lift this up 90 degrees like that. All of these. Okay. And what I also want to do then is take the tips of these and fold them the other way. So they kind of look like that. You want to give them that sort of look. Kind of like they're like that. Okay, so I'm just kind of really just wrapping them around my dowel to kind of give them a U shape if you're looking at them like this. It's not quite a U, but as close as you could get without it being obnoxiously like a U. And then of course you want to pull these up just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to take this and just throw one little dot of glue in the center of this. It's going to go right on the center of our box. Get that nice and centered. Okay, just like that. I can actually lift that up even more, give that a little more dimension if you want. And we'll do the same thing with this one. I'm going to lift these up first. Okay. So I'm just literally pinching this between my finger and the dowel and pulling it towards me about 90 degrees. And then I'm going to take and pinch the tip and just kind of like you're curling it. Just curl it. Okay, there we go. Just curl it down. And there we go. So we're actually going to take and use a little pop dot or a foam square. I think a foam square would work nicely on this. We'll pop that. I was going to say pop and put at the same time. Put that right in the center. And then we'll take this guy, pop that right in the center. You want to offset these so they're not right on top of each other. You want to rotate it so that each of these petals is getting a little bit of limelight there. Okay, and then of course you can finish it off with a little rhinestone in the center. I'm going to use this one. I think this one looks pretty cool. And if you're doing that, I know that some of these already have adhesive on the back of them. Don't trust it. Throw some glue on there anyway. Finish it off like so. Let that dry. And I'm going to put the two seams together so it looks mostly seamless from most of the angles. And then all that's left to do is just take and put some string in there and just tie it off on the inside. Just tie a little simple knot. Okay, so this is kind of frayed at the end and it's a little difficult to get it through. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit so it's not as frayed. I should be able to slide it through this little hole with, should be pretty easy. And I'll pull this out and literally just kind of tie a knot right at the very tip, at the very end there, like so. I'll trim some of that off so it's not so bulky in there, just like that. Okay, and I'd probably just leave a little bit. Just picture what it would look like if you were to get it. And actually, let's do this. Let's put the top on and let's just kind of figure out how much we want there to be. So right about there, I'd say, and then that will hang. That'll hang nicely. Okay, so let me pop this through there again. And again, you can use whatever string or braid. If you're, if you have some baker's twine, you could use that or whatever it may be. Let me pull this in here, and we'll take another look here with the lid on. See how long we want that. It's up to you how long you want it. Just want it long enough to where if you hand it to someone, they can grab it by the handle here. I'm bringing these flowers up a little bit. I think that's probably good. In which case, I'll just take this and kind of holding the area where I want the knot to be. Okay, I'll just pop that knot right through there, feed it down, maybe leave a little extra slack right about there. Perfect. I'll pull that back out nice and tight up against the inside and give that a trim. I don't know where my fabric scissors are. I'm using these weird things. You have to kind of push in, and I've been using them for paper and fabric, which I know is a no-no, but I did it anyway. Okay, and there we have it. And there it is. Perfect. Look at that. Very cute. So obviously perfect for some small jewelry. I wanted to check this out actually and see if, in fact, we could fit a gift card in there, and we can. So that's awesome too. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. As you can see, we are approaching almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to all of you that have already subscribed. And if you enjoyed this video and enjoy our products, please consider subscribing as well. And if you make this or anything from our new bundle, which is the Fashionable Ladies bundle, actually, there are 3 new really cool cards. You can see them here on your screen. Visit us on Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, where you can join myself, and I think there's about 35,000 of you of our dreamers in that group that showcase all their stuff all the time. I'm sure you guys would enjoy that as well. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.